Get ready for the ultimate home decor binge watch. Today I'm putting it all together in one ultimate Easter decorating marathon for 2026. I'm Sonja and welcome to At Home with Sonja. If you're new here, this channel is all about creating a high-end intentional home without the designer price tag. We focus on affordable DIYs, thrifted treasures, and smart styling to make every corner of your home feel special. In this marathon, we are celebrating the finale of our Easter 2026 series. This year, we've embraced the simple and subtle aesthetic, moving away from the bright clutter and leaning into organic textures, natural tones, and timeless spring vibes. We are traveling through the entire house, starting with the first impression at my front porch and entryway, moving through the heart of the home into the kitchen and family room, and finishing all off with a full 2026 Easter home tour. Whether you're here to get some spring inspiration or just want a cozy video to decorate alongside, you are in the right place. If you haven't joined our community yet, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you never miss a refresh. Give this video a big thumbs up if you love a good decorating marathon, and let's jump right into the very first decorate with me. Starting with a clean slate, I've removed all of my winter decor, given the porch a good sweep, and now it's time to bring in the Easter charm. First, I'm hanging up my Easter wreaths. I found these at a local greenhouse during an end of a season sale for just $13 each. One of them was missing a few eggs, so I'm adding a couple more to refresh the look. Since we get a lot of wind here, some decor pieces tend to get a little weathered, but small touch-ups can make a big difference. Next, I'm layering two doormats to add depth and texture to the space. I'm placing a pattern rug from Hobby Lobby that I had for years and still love. And then it's a classic sisal rug from IKEA. This simple layering trick helps create a cozy and welcoming entryway. Moving to the light fixture, I'm adding a DIY hanging basket that I originally made on my DIY channel years ago. To fill it, I first tried birch branches, but decided to keep it simple with eucalyptus leaves, mix of green spring florals, dogwood stems, and some hanging elements to create dimension. For my planters, I'm bringing back birch branches, a styling method I've been using for a while, and to complement them, I'm adding spring wreaths to give the illusion of a floral nest. Since the ground still is too frozen to adjust the pots, I'm working with what I have. I am also tucking in dogwood branches, faux daffodils from Dollarama, and some cascading greenery to complete the look. And to tie it all together, I'm placing a few decorative bunnies and adding some curly willow for an extra whimsical touch. Then I'll repeat the process on the other side of the porch to create balance. Over by the door, I decided to add a woven basket filled with grassy garland and some blue and white ceramic eggs from HomeSense. These delicate eggs add a subtle but elegant Easter touch. Next to it, I'm placing my new DIY topiary bunny. To give it more height, I popped it into a woven basket, and I love how it elevates the whole display. On the opposite side, I'm styling a cozy sitting area with a soft beige blanket and a pillowcase from Temu. If you watch my front entryway decorate with me, you may have already seen the matching pillow. It's such an affordable way to switch up seasonal decor. And start this refresh, I'm beginning with a completely clean slate. I've taken everything off the entryway table so I have a blank canvas to work with. There's something so refreshing about starting from scratch. My focal point for this look is a DIY vase filled with beautiful cherry blossoms. I've decided to mix my pink and white stems, both of which I found at Dollarama. These are absolutely stunning, high quality stems, and I just love how mixing the two colors create a lush statement floral piece that screams spring. Next to the vase, I'm laying a thrifted tray. Inside, I'm placing a book with a gorgeous mossy green linen cover that feels so organic and earthy. On top of that, I'm adding my collection of DIY bunnies. I've gathered these over time from Dollar Tree and Dollarama, and I've personalized them with metallic gold spray paint and a touch of antiquing wax for a high-end vintage feel. Beside my bunnies, I'm adding a delicate bud vase with a single peony paired with a crystal tea light candle holder. Crystal is such a huge trend right now, and it adds a lovely touch of elegance to the table. On the opposite side of the vase, some more linen covered books to create height and elevate my lamp. Both the books and the lamp were thrifted store find that I've spruced up to better suit my personal style. I absolutely love how the top of the entryway looks now. It's balanced and so inviting. Moving to the bottom shelf, I'm bringing in a basket. This is actually a hamper I found on HomeSense. Next to that, I'm adding a vintage art print that I DIY'd in a beautiful wood frame. To keep the subtle Easter theme going, I'm placing a stone bunny that I've had for a few years, also from HomeSense. Finally, to complete the look at the bottom, I am adding a DIY paper mache bowl. Inside, I've nestled some twine carrots that I picked up at HomeSense a few seasons back. They had such a nice natural texture to finish off the space. As always, I'm starting with a total clean slate. I've cleared the room and wiped down the surfaces so I have a blank canvas to work with. It's the best way to ensure every piece has a purpose. Now for the coffee table, you might find this setup a little familiar. I shared this arrangement in my early spring decorating video, but I truly love it so much I decided to keep the base for the Easter season. I'm using this large brown vase that I DIY'd. It has such a beautiful earthy texture, and inside I'm arranging these willow stems. Willow stems are often seen as a symbol of flexibility and new growth in the spring, which is exactly the vibe we want. These stems came from both Timu and Dollarama, making them incredibly budget-friendly way to add height. Beside the vase, I'm layering a thrifted linen-covered book in rich chocolate brown. On top, I'm placing a rattan bunny I picked up last year at HomeSense. I love the organic texture it brings. To catch the light, I'm adding a crystal tea light holder and these delicate china sari pots. Now, I wasn't quite loving how the small glass holder looked here, so I'm swapping it for my new DIY candle that I made using a thrifted crystal bowl. I think this little vignette looks perfect now. It balances the space beautifully. On the opposite side, I'm bringing a wooden bowl filled with large DIY eggs. These were inspired by Pottery Barn and Mingy & Co. They're actually a combination of two different sets I made, and they had such a high-end sculptural element to the table. Doesn't that look stunning? Moving over to the fireplace, I'm bringing in my large wooden lantern. This is a total staple in this room. I paired it with a woodlook vase I DIY'd filled with some simple ferns. To finish the side, I'm adding a stone log bunny. On the opposite side, I'm using my large black vase with those gorgeous pink cherry blossoms. I actually have several sets out of these throughout the house because they are just so realistic. Beside that, I'm adding an older bunny from HomeSense and a new rattan style bunny I just found there as well. I love how the fireplace and coffee table now speak the same design language. For the side table, I'm layering some large black candlesticks with twisted candles from Dollar Store. Twisted candles are a massive 2026 trend, and finding them at the dollar store is such a high-end dupe. Beside those, I added my Pottery Barn inspired vase filled with large dahlias from Dollarama. I think I finally got the name of the flower right. I'm completing the look with a simple wooden sphere. And finally, the couch. I'm layering a cozy blanket and a variety of pillows. Everything from Sherpa and striped to subtle Easter bunny prints. The living room is officially set for Easter and it feels so incredibly cozy. I am just loving how the living room feels, but before we head into the dining room, I have a quick question for you. Are you a fan of the bright, colorful Easter decor, or do you prefer this more muted, more subtle, natural look? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're enjoying these ideas, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me so much in growing this community. Now let's move into the dining room where I've kept things simple here, leaving only the table runner, my art, and a potted plant to start with. We are starting at the Hutch. On top, I'm adding a jug vase from HomeSense with cherry blossoms from Michael's. I just added 3 of those in there. Beside it, a smaller DIY jug vase adds a different texture and height. In the center, I'm bringing in a cluster of wooden bunnies from HomeSense. And then on the opposite side, another DIY vase with green leaf stems from Timo. Moving to the lower shelf, I'm placing my DIY China Seri pot with a small leafy plant. China Seri has been a classic decor staple for centuries, but mixing it with natural wood bunnies make it feel very 2026 fresh. I'm pairing that with these beautiful small plates from Dollar Tree. They're a great spring addition. And then I'm adding another China's pot on top of the plates. Along with the wooden bunny from Timu and thrifted wooden bowl filled with green moss and few of those dollar store speckled eggs. On the middle shelf, I'm repeating those spots and adding my dough bowl candle. It felt like it needed a little something, so I brought in my gold bunnies. If those look familiar, it's because they're the same style as the ones in the living room. I just refinished these in gold with a bit of antiquing wax for a different vibe. They all came from Dollarama. On the bottom shelf, I'm adding more wooden bowls. One one holds moss and wooden bunny, while the large one is filled with more of those Pottery Barn inspired eggs. I'm also adding a white textured vase with pink flowers. And on the opposite side, a planter with Dollarama greenery to balance everything out. Finally, the dining room table. I need this to be practical so we can actually eat here, so I'm keeping the centerpiece simple. I'm using another Pottery Barn inspired vase on top of a thrifted rattan tray. And to that vase, I'm adding more of those dahlias to keep the flow consistent with the living room. I paired it with a small thrifted glass vase, some boxwood stems, and one more wood look bunny. And that is the final look. I love how these two rooms flow together now. It feels intentional, cozy, and perfectly ready for Easter season. As always, I have cleared everything off the kitchen counters except for the daily essentials. So we start with a clean slate. We're beginning on the island. Since my kitchen has a lot of white, I really wanted to bring in some warm wood tones to ground the space. So I'm adding this wooden tray that I picked up at HomeSense many years ago. To it, I am adding a Joshua vase. It's a dupe from Pottery Barn, but I picked it up at HomeSense and I gave it a new color. And to it, I am adding these gorgeous pink flowers I found at Dollarama several years ago. I have these throughout the house because they are so stunning and realistic. I am also mixing in some white cherry blossoms to give the arrangement a fuller look. If you don't have many stems, place a smaller vase inside your large one to hold the stems closer together. It creates an instant look of fullness. Beside that, I am adding one of my DIY vases with some boxwood. Using the same greenery throughout the house is a great way to keep the design cohesive. To finish the island, I am adding a rattan bunny I found in HomeSense this year. It is a fantastic dupe for the Pottery Barn rattan bunnies. Rattan is a major trend for 2026 because it adds visual warmth without cluttering a space. Moving to my coffee station, I have actually moved away from decorating this specifically for coffee. I'm treating these floating shelves more like silent open shelving. I'm bringing in an amber glass vase from HomeSense and pairing it with two little thrifted vases. I'm also adding a DIY burlap sign. I made a set of 3 of these a while back and they still feel so fresh. On my DIY cedarwood riser, I am adding a cement pot from Dollarama with greenery and a thrifted bunny that I spray painted gold to match my style. On the top shelf, I initially tried a woven rattan frame, but ended up switching that out for a burlap bunny print that felt more collected and vintage, which you will see at the end. I've also added a small brown vase with some lavender from Walmart. In the Victorian language of flowers, lavender represents devotion and serenity, perfect for a calm kitchen. To finish this look, I am also adding some more of my DIY bunnies that were spray painted gold, and I am just picking the ones that will fit the space the best. Over on the main counters, I am using a Pottery Barn charcuterie board I found at a yard sale for $1 as a base. I've styled it with vintage salt and pepper shakers and a mortar and pestle. I also brought in thrifted vintage print to break up the white backsplash, swapping the original print that I put in there because I felt it was a little bit too modern versus the look that I was going for. On the other side, I am also bringing in some more wooden cutting board to break up that white backsplash, as well as a wooden cluster of bunnies that I picked up at HomeSense. And to tie in the gold from the shelves, I used a thrifted bowl. I added some speckled eggs to it, but it didn't feel right, so I took them out and I added some lush green moss and the eggs back in, which worked perfectly. To complete the kitchen, I'm adding my tall HomeSense my tall rattan HomeSense bunny and a beautiful kitchen towel in the Easter print. I love that there's a balance here between decor and plenty of workspace. Right off the kitchen is my family room. I decided to keep the pillows and blankets from my early spring decor because I love the color palette so much. Starting on the coffee table, I'm bringing in a DIY vase with pink flowers, a rattan box from Temu to hide the remotes and glass cleaners. Staying practical is the key. I'm layering in a chocolate brown linen book, another thrifted find, and a glass vase with more boxwood stems. I'm also using more of my thrifted books on the other side to just elevate the ruffle bowl from Timo. Inside the bowl, I added light blue-gray speckled eggs in various sizes. Blue eggs in nature are often associated with robins, which are one of the first signs of spring. To finish the table, I've added marble coasters and a little wooden gold bunny from Home Sunset. On the large side table, I have my lamp paired with Care Patch Bunny and a vase of large baby breaths from Dollarama. Beside that, a rattan bowl from Temu holds some of my large DIY eggs. This room feels so cozy, it has just the right amount of spring and Easter touches. I am so pleased with how the kitchen and family room turned out. It feels like such a natural, cozy flow from the rest of the house. I'd love to know which room is your favorite to decorate for the holidays. Leave a comment below and let's chat. And just like that, the decorating is complete. Every DIY and decor piece has been placed, the flowers are arranged, and the house has finally transitioned from that early spring freshness into a warm, intentional Easter home. There is something so satisfying about seeing all these separate projects, from the Pottery Barn dupes to the thrifted treasures, come together to create a cohesive story. But I know you've been waiting to see the final results, so let's take a breath, relax, and walk through the house room by room, from the front porch to the family room. Here is the full 2026 Easter home tour. And that completes our ultimate Easter decorating marathon for 2026. It has been such a journey taking this house from a blank canvas to a cozy, subtle Easter retreat. And I am so grateful you chose to spend this time at home with Sonja. I hope this marathon gave you all the spring inspiration and decorating ideas you were looking for. Remember, creating a high end home isn't about the price tag, it's about the heart and the intention you put into every piece, whether it's a dollar store flip or a thrifted vintage find. Before you head out, I'd love to know which room in the marathon was your favorite to watch. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to join our growing family, hit that like button to support the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our upcoming late spring refresh. Thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed and beautiful Easter, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.